Yes, I have two shirts on. My girlfriend has the thermostat set so low that the only way I can get warm is by adding more layers, despite the fact that it is almost summertime. Well, it's springtime. Look, I'm not trying to make sense, I'm trying to complain. So this is a non-Godzilla video. I've talked a lot about the Sonic series on this channel. As a child, I was a subscriber to Archie's Sonic Universe comic. You know, before Ken Penders caused the Thanos snap and destroyed that whole universe with his legal shit. If you've ever followed a comic book, you will probably know that short summaries of the plots for each issue tend to get posted in advance of the actual release of the issue. This is how you can kind of tell where the story is going to go. With Sonic Universe, this usually took the form of us finding out what character the next saga was going to revolve around. As a child, considering I did a lot of writing, I wrote some like faux summaries for issues that weren't actually going to get released, coming up with plots for them. But I figured this would be an interesting thing for us to go through today. Obviously, I'm going to blur out the text, but I'm going to read through it. We're going to see what secrets lie within, because I haven't opened this thing in a long ass time. And yes, I made sure my audio is working, so I'm not going to record this and have a fresh reaction only for it to get completely subsumed by the fact that I was too stupid to check the audio levels. Don't mind me eating a cupcake. The image that I chose doesn't really have any relevance to this as far as I know. It's just one of my favorite panels of the Dark Knuckles Enerjack from the Silver Saga in Sonic Universe. It would be pretty funny if it ends up being relevant to the actual story content of this document. The first thing in here I think was just what I would copy and modify. I believe this is the summary for the Babylon Rogues trade paperback for Sonic Universe, which was an excellent way to incorporate the Babylon Garden and many of the Sonic Riders series aspects into the Archie canon. So kudos to Ian Flynn for that. Yep, okay, so we got Blaze is looking for a Soul Emerald, and Metal Sonic chases her into an alternate dimension where the Freedom Fighters have been mutated into analogs of all of the Godzilla kaiju. Sonic Kaiju and Nuxirus. What in the hell? I don't even want to know what this would have looked like. Sting the Bee and Colonel Shadow. I'm imagining that's like a souped up adult version of Charmy, and obviously Shadow with a higher military rank. Metazaki. Don't even know what that means, other than it's probably related to Ozaki from Godzilla Final Wars. Don't know what the Robotno is, but apparently American Tobor powers it up. Or he wants to, but he can't. Okay, the Robotno is now charged in the next issue. Okay, so Metazaki challenges Blaze and Sting the Bee to one final battle. I definitely took advantage of the fact that many of these synopses are written rather vaguely so as to prevent spoilers. Obviously, the actual stories were probably already written out, but the summaries were kind of vague because they didn't want the customer to know in advance what they were planning on doing. King Metadora. I'm assuming Blaze probably goes Burning Blaze in this climax, but it doesn't say. Just Blaze versus the giant kaiju for some reason. Okay, hopefully, I think this one's unrelated to Godzilla in any way. Okay, so Tails and Rotor the Walrus build the Space Typhoon? If I remember correctly, this adapts Season 3 of Sonic X into the Archie Sonic canon. I never watched Sonic X Season 3, so, look, child me didn't really give a shit. He just didn't like the fact that the ideas were cordoned off from the rest of the franchise, particularly the one that I was following at the time. Okay, Tails discovers a mysterious girl. That's probably Cosmo. It is Cosmo. They have to escape the forces of the Black Arms. As I've said in a previous video, I hated how Archie handled the Black Arms, at least prior to the first Genesis wave. I know after they did that, I think Sega kind of let them use the Black Arms a little bit because I know they melded with the Wisps. And that was really cool, but this was written before that, I presume, and I hated it. I hated it so much. I think Sega's finally realizing that the Black Arms can actually be used in some capacity, and it's actually kind of popular. Exciting revelations happen in this issue, which doesn't actually exist, and I'm almost positive I never wrote down what those revelations would even be. Like I said, I was taking advantage of the fact that these synopses were not full-blown plot descriptions. It's kind of funny because it's Sonic, but yet you have descriptions such as Black Doom's forces have destroyed the outer Cedrian defense line. Like, that's an actual, like, warfare kind of thing. Cosmo has a sister. I feel like that's in the anime. I don't remember, though. Oh, yeah, this was basically, I think it was supposed to be like a Tails and Rotor Walrus arc. I don't really know much about Rotor even within the comics, but I felt like he deserved a character arc within Sonic Universe. Obviously, he'll never get one since Archie Sonic is Ripperoni and Pepperoni. The Black Bull was the enemy of issue 3, T-Pup. Maybe I'll put T-Pup on the screen right about now. I always loved T-Pup. It's a shame he probably died with that continuity. Oh, right, Cosmo dies in the anime. So I had her die by the end of the arc. You get a solid 3 issues with her. New future. Oh no. It's a return to Mobius 30 years later. It's understandable why this part of the canon was so negatively received. But as someone who didn't grow up for the Ken Penders version of the Mobius 30 years later stuff, which from what I understand was atrocious, I quite liked Ian Flynn's rendition of Mobius 30 years later. But I think that's just because Ian Flynn's a good writer, and Ken Penders is, you know, markedly not. Totally forgot about this. So Ixis Naugus is the highest priest of the Order of Mephiles, and he's making a push to take over Babylon Metro. King Khan can't spare any soldiers. Who else can he turn to but Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, I'm not going to go into any detail here, but I never shipped Sonic with Sally. It was always Sonic and Amy, and that's because I started with the game. So I think I didn't write it in here, but I think I had Sonic divorce Sally Acorn and marry Amy Rose, and then Sally married Monkey Khan, because I think I like that pairing more. Shippers, please stay out of my comments. I don't want to have to deal with that. This is mostly a Godzilla channel. I'm just doing this because this is part of my childhood and I'm rereading it. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog and his wife, Amy Rose, are enjoying a vacation with their kids. And Sonic needs to help stop the Order of Mephiles. He has to team up with the Prowers and Jet. Oh, Jet is the president of the Babylon Nation, and only they together can take on the gruesome wizards of Mephiles, referred to here as just the Order. I like this. I know it kind of screws up the traditional Archie canon, but I don't really care about that. Okay, so there's some guy called Rutan, R-U-T-A-N, and they're attacking the Babylon Garden. I assume Babylon Garden is the capital of this nation. I think it's not explicitly stated, but I believe Cream the Rabbit is Tails' wife here. I know he married Mina Mongoose in the actual Archie Sonic 30 years later continuity. Can you tell I was just retconning everything? I wanted to get this shit separated out. Oh, the Prower girls are captured. Could Sonic possibly save the day? And how can Storm help them out? I want to read the next summary. Storm has some kind of important role? I really want to know what this is. Storm has decided to help Sonic, Rush, and Lily take on Rutan. I think this is an original villain. Rush and Lily are probably Sonic's kids. They probably have something to do. Lily is a flower, so it's probably like a Sonic and Amy son and daughter. I don't know what the actual name of Sonic's child in Mobius 30 years later was. It might be Rush, I don't know. With the power of the Iblis Scepter, Rutan is unstoppable. Oh shit! But when Storm reveals his wizardry skills, Sonic is able to help take him down. The future hangs in the balance as Sonic and Rutan battle for ultimate supremacy. I'd read that comic. Storm is a wizard in the future. As stupid as he's portrayed in the games, he's actually a wizard in the future in this continuity. Absolute Kino. Print it and ship it. I want it. Okay, we're about halfway through the list. Metal Maniac. Shout out to Hot Wheels Acceleracers. Gun Security Room. During a slow night, the gun high security basement is attacked by 5 strange robots. Shadow and Omega rush to the mega computers only to be assaulted by android versions of the ultimate life form itself. Oh, thank God. I believe all the different multiplayer versions of Shadow seen in the Shadow the Hedgehog game, I believe they are the antagonists of this arc. Because I really like those designs and I really wanted them to be used in something. The Shadow androids have taken down Shadow and Omega, led by a gold-streaked android copy named Volt. So Volt is the unique name for the yellow Shadow android. And they just take out the remaining gun forces. That's not surprising. The green and blue lookalikes stay back to stop reinforcements, but Shadow isn't as forgiving as his commanding officer. Okay, so the green and blue androids have been taken down by the real Shadow. I imagine that would probably be like a really cool splash page if it were actually to be drawn out. Oh, Rouge arrives. She's back with a repaired Omega. Will Shadow really disobey Commander Tower? Forgot his actual name. And can he survive taking on his brutal reflections? This is so hype, holy shit. With the other androids destroyed, Volt has decided to meet Shadow head on. Red Shadow versus Yellow Shadow, let's go! What was the true mission of the androids? Shadow doesn't care. He just takes the fight to Volt to show the cocky drone who the real ultimate life form is. Look, even as a young one, Shadow was hype as shit. I knew the game was flawed. I could probably imagine what could have been, but I really liked the idea of the multicolored androids from the multiplayer, and I just wanted to have it in there somewhere. Okay, so far, we've had the Destroy All Monsters arc, which is more so a parody, really, than anything else. It's Blaze versus a parody. Space Revelations, which is Tails and Rotor going into space to deal with the Seedrians, which were in Season 3 of the Sonic X anime. We have a revised version of the Mobius 30 Years Later continuity, but with pairings that are more in line with the games. And then we have an arc involving Shadow and the rest of Team Dark fighting against the Shadow androids from the Shadow the Hedgehog multiplayer mode. Okay, next is Chaotix Chronicles. So this one's during Angel Island's flight path around the globe, they pass over the city of Adabat, which I believe was the water level in Sonic Unleashed. And it just says, get ready for an adventure with the Team Chaotix. Yes, this is what I was going to use in this fan canon to introduce Dark Gaia to the Archie Sonic continuity. I know it was in the Archie Sonic continuity, but I believe that was after the second Genesis wave, the Super Genesis wave, the one that involved Mega Man. So this wouldn't have involved that. Dark Gaia is emerging in Adabat? Question mark? Dark Gaia Phoenix. I believe that was a boss. I think that was like the boss of this arc as well. Okay, how does this conclude? Charmy and Saffron B are arguing. I imagine this was going to get Saffron out of the story. Don't miss the explosive finish to the Chaotix Chronicles, which definitely existed. Hey, at least I wrote myself and Ian Flynn as co-creators of the script. It even has prices on them. And then there's a Sonic cover Chaos book, which I think is just supposed to be a trade paperback that just compiles all the different artworks for all the different Archie Sonic comics. Okay, we've got a short Godzilla comic thing here called Godzilla King of All Monsters. There's only 2 issues. Oh, this is in Marvel. Marvel Comics brings back its most destructive licensed monster that it's handled so far. Godzilla has reawoken in Japan due to nuclear plant complications. Can you imagine? This was around the same time Godzilla 2014 was in development. Another giant is summoned to stop Godzilla. Okay, Godzilla's rampaging looking for the new monster, which is Baragon. Okay, it's an unfinished summary. Baragon fights with Godzilla until the Red Ronin shows up. The Red Ronin? Roast my pronunciation in the comments. Okay, we're back to Sonic Universe. Okay, this is the last arc in this document. This arc is titled Outcast World. Okay, Mighty and Ray, they have had a tiring trip looking for Mighty's lost sister. They reach the scenic town of Saliana. Okay, this could be concerning. They befriend a girl named Tiara. They quickly discover she isn't an ordinary girl and she's the leader of a group of freedom fighters. Did I just combine the scrapped character of Tiara Bubowski for Sonic Extreme on the Sega Saturn with Sonic 06 in the Archie continuity? We're crossing the streams. This is too dangerous. Okay, Tiara is the leader of the Kingdom Valley Freedom Fighters. I believe Kingdom Valley is a level in Sonic 06. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This black and green guy named Ashura seems a little fishy to be a freedom fighter. And will Weknia ever shut up? I made the glitch characters into separate characters. This is amazing. And Eggman's drones are fighting them. They're up for a fight. Ray's having a hard time keeping himself from having a nervous breakdown. Ashura is acting suspicious. I imagine that has to do with something. Honey won't stop flirting with Mighty, and Weknia is going to drive them all bonkers. I know Honey the cat showed up in the post-Super Genesis wave Archie comics. This was probably my attempt at introducing her before any of that stuff. I obviously didn't know that the Ken Penders lawsuit drama was going to devolve into what it did. We knew it. This is the final issue. We knew it. Ashura has turned on Mighty, Ray, Tiara, and her crew. I like how I basically just took all the Outcast concepts and glitches and just made them into a team. Props to you, young me. Ashura has decided that he's fit for the throne of Eggman Empire, and that Saliana will be his first conquest? Can he really pull this off? I presume not. Mighty doesn't plan on letting him. This is pretty badass. Ashura had better make sure of one thing. Watch out for one angry armadillo. And that's it. That's all of it. I am so glad I fixed my audio issues, because that was actually fun to freshly react to. I wrote those a long time ago. It says that the last time that file was modified was December 5th, 2011. So it's been a while since I wrote any of that. You know, know, I'm really kind of bummed by the fact that Sonic Universe and the entire Archie Sonic continuity kind of got tossed. I can see why it was probably not a good idea to keep that continuity around, just because of all the extra baggage that the original cartoons and Ken Penders on top of that had added to it. But I like fixing things. I'm sure you guys have noticed with many of my writing videos, I just like to fix things. In truth, that Marvel document that I mention all the time, that's what that is for us now. That's like the modern iteration of this kind of writing. But I really liked all of those. They were a fun read. And honestly, I'm kind of sad because I'll never see Tracy Yardley draw any of it. There were artists listed in that document. Godzilla issues don't have an artist. Godzilla Rulers of Earth hadn't come out yet, so I wasn't about to make the leap of faith and be like, oh, well, Matt Frank could do entire interiors for these issues. Probably would have liked that. Although it was also Marvel, so I don't even know if he could have. Yeah, no, all the Sonic issues are drawn by Tracy Yardley, with the exclamation point at the end. Hopefully I did a good job explaining all that stuff. Let me know what you guys think of these very vague summaries that I gave you guys. The actual summaries weren't much more detailed. I pointed out as much interesting stuff in them as I could. Hopefully I can keep doing these writing reactions and see the stuff that I came up with in my youth. Anyways, drop a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video.